So there's two extremes to which we can go in understanding Christ and his relationship with the Father and the Spirit in the Holy Trinity. The one is essentially modalism, which is that it's sort of a Unitarian version of Trinitarianism. So there's only one God, he's only one person, and every once in a while he puts on a mask that looks like the Son and does Son stuff, and then takes the mask off and puts the Father mask on, and does Father stuff and takes the mask off and does Holy Spirit stuff with the Holy Spirit mask on. But essentially, there's only one person with one nature who is God. The other is to see the three persons of the Holy Trinity distinct from one another in both personhood and in nature. Here Jesus says, I'm going back to the Father, and the Father's greater than I. Right? And so we may think, well, if the Father is greater than the Son must not be consubstantial, co-eternal with the Father. He must be a creature, right? And this is one of those old heresies. I can't remember which one it is. It's either Arianism or Jansenism. I think it must be Arianism. Anyways, yeah, it's Arianism, denying the divinity. This is what Nicholas hit Arius in the face for at the council. Remember, Santa Claus punches Arius in the nose? That's what this was about. Arius said that Jesus wasn't really truly divine, but he is, right? And when Philip says, Master, we don't know where you're going, Philip says, show us the Father. This is before the crucifixion, right? Jesus says, Philip, if you've been with me for so long that you don't know, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. This is such a comforting thought, that all that God is, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, co-eternal, consubstantial with one another, immutable, ineffable, inerrant, took flesh in one of their persons, the Son, so that all that God is could be with us. Everything about God wanted to be close to us. Everything about God wanted to bring us close to himself. And so he took on our flesh so that one of the persons of the tripartite God could be an access point for us to be in relationship and communion with all of God. Right? This is how Jesus kind of describes himself as Jacob's ladder. Now, obviously, Jacob's ladder is a vision of Daniel, seeing angels ascending and descending upon this ladder, this connection point. What is the ladder? Well, the ladder in this case is perhaps grace, some form of substantial communion of God to his people. But now that ladder has not become, or now that communion has not become some inanimate object of a ladder or a bridge, but a person who has identity, who has personality, who has traits that can be known, that allow the formation of a relationship and a friendship. God has become not only some distant paternal figure, but he's become intimate, he's become immanent, he's become a friend to humanity. So when Jesus says, I came to give you peace, and not as the world gives you peace, I came to give you peace in a different way. This is the foundation upon which he says that. The world gives peace through a cessation of violence. And the cessation of violence can be imposed by unjust rule. And the world says, see, we're at peace. We had the Pax Romana, right, during the Roman Empire. The whole world was at peace. The whole known world was at peace anyways. Why? Because of imperial rule. Because the biggest bully was sitting on the biggest chair and told all the other bullies they couldn't bully each other. That's how the world gives peace. It's fragile. It's fleeting. It doesn't last. Why? Because another big bully comes along someday. Because everybody's vying for power. Because everybody in there, and by everybody, I mean even us, little people who aren't big bullies, right? We're sometimes just little bullies, right? We all get self-pitying sometimes. We get entitled. We get grabby. We get greedy. We get envious. Even within our own families, discord erupts. because the peace of the world is fleeting. But the peace that Christ comes to give, he explains, comes from a relationship of a perfect, infinite, loving God. That I came to be friends with you, and I am always the same. And my friendship is perfect. And if you live in me and I in you, then I who live in the Father also lives in you. And you in him, that we might all be one. It's the climax of Jesus' great high priestly prayer. It's a testament to his mission that he accomplishes on the cross and in the resurrection and in the ascension and through the establishment of his church, which presents to us and administers to us the sacraments of baptism and confirmation and Eucharist, by which we become one with Christ, who is one with the Father, that the Father and we might be one in the loving communion of the Holy Spirit. There's nothing the world can do to take that away. Right? Jesus says, I'm going to the Father, and the ruler of this world is coming, but he has no power over me. In fact, I'm just waiting around until my dad sees fit to destroy it. In the Office of Readings this morning, I've been reading through the book of Revelation, and death and hell have been destroyed. Right? And it's just such a beautiful triumph that even after everything is done, after all the judgments are made, even death itself is judged. That God brings all things under his divine and perfect rule. That the devil's discord has been brought back into harmony with God's providence. And the most frustrating thing to the devil, that he can't even cause disharmony, disunity, discord anymore. Right? This is the peace that Jesus promises. And it's not a peace that we have to wait around for. It's a peace he has given us the moment we have been baptized, the moment our whole creation, our whole selves had been reordered to that resonance of the peace of Christ. It's only by personal choice, it's only by a volition that we abdicate our right to that peace. Anyone, this is barring some form of mental illness. Understand me, this is barring any form of mental illness. Anyone in this world who is at peace is only so because they have not realized their identity as one called to the Father to become a son or a daughter. And if that's the case, then nothing else matters. When we lose our peace day to day, it's because we've forgotten our destiny. It's because we've forgotten how much we're loved. It's because we've forgotten all that God has done for us and will always do for us, and all we have to do is turn back to him and reclaim our sonship. To say, Father, I'll never leave your house, because there's nothing else out there worth me having if I'm here with you.